Aloha, our beloved family. My name is Christ Ryan Melchizedek.
And I am Reza Raya.
This is my beautiful beloved, and we are here to share a message with you guys. It's going to be a message, a transmission, an update on what's going on. Know that this is a video that's a long time coming. Although the wisdom expressed is relevant to the current times that we are in, the ability to start stepping out and openly and freely expressing all of which is occurring, all that we've been involved with, all that many of our teams across the planet have been involved with, that we've been keeping a little bit underground, behind the scenes, that we've been sharing little breadcrumbs, little bits and pieces here, telling people get ready, we're going to start sharing a lot more. Well, now it's that time. We've been in that time, beloveds. We are moving towards the true disclosure timeline, not a controlled narrative, not a partial narrative, not just a disclosure on, government and political corruption, not just an exposure on what's going on with the deep state and all the child trafficking and all this, not just what's going on with the extraterrestrials and everything that have been viewed or interacted with in this construct, but like everything. Like the truth that has been forgotten, the truth that has been erased, the truth that has been brought in fragments and pieces, that has been the work of our teams to identify the truth within and to crystallize this organic sequence that restores the true memory and recollection of all that has been and forever shall be. So it's something that these messages right now are for everybody. I promise you, if you were guided to this video, accidentally or not, because there's never an accident, everything is so divinely orchestrated. Follow the synchronicities and you will find your way home, beloved.
Ratu Maria Sakaria Takriariatum Maria Sakatiaria Tiakatum Marakaliarkatiamu Nashatarata.
So our beloved family, if you're finding this and you feel guided to listen to this whole transmission, just tune into your heart. Know whether this makes all the sense in the world or no sense at all, everything that is needed to facilitate the organic expansion and true soul expression of your individualized God consciousness will be assisting, flowing, coming online throughout this, simply from you holding that space to bring in something that is new in your reality. For the rest of our family that are more up to date with a lot of this is going to be a level of confirmation and validation and verification of things you already know, as well as a little bit of the insight that we're receiving from our councils and our teams and what we're doing on this side. And then at the same time, we're going to have a specific message for anybody that's receiving very prophetic dreams, visions, experiences, people that are viewing as prophecies and stuff, both with what's occurring right now that people are receiving, as well as for those of you that have been doing a lot of this deep work, that have actually been receiving and seeing and being shown things about the timelines, the storylines. People talk about timelines, and this is just our truth on this side is that we don't really view any of these other timelines. We view one highest timeline of unity and eternal life, freedom and sovereignty. All of our family unified as one. This is something that, so a lot of the times, there's so many different timelines and possibilities, but many times when people are, shifting or saying they're seeing these timelines come together, they're jumping timelines, we just view it as them getting that much closer to this unity timeline, because whether or not people remember, this is what our soul is seeking. This is the highest timeline for all life, and we are here to help provide the reminder so that all family, regardless of what's gone on, has the ability to make this decision, because we've got a level of assistance and support for all levels of DNA rehabilitation. Even things to where it does not matter where somebody's at or what strands are digressive or missing, because our family is here to help you restore that, as long as you're in your heart and you want this. So
the core path is unity consciousness. The core destiny for our entire collective as a whole is unity consciousness. When you remember who you are, remembering that we all are one, this is what we mean by there is only one path, one destiny, one timeline, one story. All of these other stories, narratives, timelines, probabilities, options, choices are all just facets of the one path and story. And so we honor and really encourage you to dive deep within, to be able to anchor and embody with this unity path. For we are all on it. We just need to remember and to make that decision to continue to embody and go for unity and really embrace what that really means within and throughout all that you are and everything that you do as you go about your daily practices and go through your life. And all of these other narratives that are going around right now, just really just stay in that unity and remember who you are. Remember that there is only one path.
So as we get to this part, we'll have a very specific message for those of you that are holding and seeing these things. And we hope to be able to illuminate and provide some insight into what is occurring and what you can do with this information, with this site. We're constantly in a position of making choices. All of these choices are leading us to an inevitable same destination of learning and growth. And with each one of these things that you're seeing, if you're holding this level of sight, if you're starting to access this level of self-awareness and being able to work on the architecture and what's going on in the system, it's something that each decision, if we step out of our power and allow these to run forward, we're actually consenting to the creation of these storylines. And but when we step in and align to our power and remember what's going on and why we're seeing these things, we actually have the opportunity to perform a profound level of service. Something that is really so big, and to those of you that are doing this, it might seem so simple for what you're doing, but I promise you, beloved, like, it takes a lot for you to get to this point of sovereignty and inner knowing, so you can stand strong in this power and authority and accomplish everything you're here to do. So, because this is literally one of our very first videos, like I put out handfuls of videos, we've done certain activations together. One of our very first videos, we came together, both of us were going under an alias pseudonym, and so just lessons upon lessons that were necessary to really identify certain things that were going on so we could be of service to our family in the greatest degrees, in the greatest ways possible. But now it's something that, like, this is a little bit more unique on the side that we're going to be openly expressing so much more truths about ourselves and what's going on. And we just want to remind you that these are our truths from what we've been experiencing, what we've been seeing, what our councils and collective groups that we've been working with have, you know, been collectively seeing and identifying, coming together on. So we want to share this with you to give you more tools, to give you more insight, a broader spectrum of what's occurring so you can tune into your heart and really identify what is most in alignment for you at this time. While also providing a very important message to each and every individual that we hope that you can find this truth, carry this flame, this torch of truth to all that you encounter with, because there are things that might be getting a little bit more intense as we move forward, especially over these next few weeks and over these next few months. And we just want everybody to have as much wisdom and awareness as possible so you can be prepared for this. Because this is what all of our training has been about. This is what everything is accumulating towards. This is quite literally the, like, exact reason why we are here. And it's time to know a little bit more about what's going on.
The time is now.
Samashinaro kia sanamaro shinakiatum.
O shiriaduria lakia motu ashianu kurutu iania kiariatu umutu ilia kiratu umujianu niedu aria shikatututututututum ilia rekatututututututum ashikitiatia o atiamotu ishisiasiasiamatu urata.
So our beloved family, we're going to go ahead and open up a space for our group container for everybody that's involved here. Continuously, I'm being guided more and more to actually start our videos with this space opening. Simply so we can hold a level of integrity and purity within this container for all that are coming in. Because there are a lot of truths that are going to be spoken that, depending on where you're at with your personal deprogramming and detanglement side, there might be certain things that are going to cause very opposing reactions in the body or any one of the body systems. So we want to make sure that each individual has the greatest opportunity and chance to be able to really receive and understand, so you can embody this truth and transmute from the linear expression of learning into the multidimensional expression of knowing, so this wisdom can come to life within throughout all that you are.
As always, trust your heart, trust your resonance, trust your divine truth, but we ask for you to dive deep for any triggers or for any level of opposition that may arise for any of these truths or anything that we may be sharing throughout this video. All we ask is for you to truly sit with those triggers or anything that may come up in reaction to anything that may be being shared through this video, to really reflect on that and to ask yourself what that really is through a deeper aspect, what's going on behind that reaction that's causing this within you. Really honor that and dive deep with that. And as always, trust your heart, trust your resonance. We love you so much. Again, we are sharing from our divine experience, from our journeys, from our life, and from all of the work we do together through our sacred union. And also working with all of our councils and teams, both in the celestial, etheric realms and here in the physical on this planet. So we hope you enjoy and just, again, open and receive and trust your heart.
Shinamola Kiroshana Kia Somo Kisha Roshmo Sanamo Shinkia no Kishino Koraintino no mo. Sono Makara Lishi Rukia Laia Matu Malu Mariana Nanaishina Mokaria Lia Rishi Hasama Hisha Anna. Beloveds, all that are tuning in, know that I don't exactly know the full extent of what's going to be shared through this in general. We've got so much on every different level that's just all cascading, coming together in a beautiful orchestra, just the most harmonic symphony of perfection. But it's a little bit crazy as it's all coming in too. So some of these things might be a little bit like expressed in more of a spherical, multidimensional nature, since this is how we work. And let's just say that this is both a test and practice for you to begin to embody more of a spherical level of consciousness, and as a practice for I and we to be able to express and distill our alchemy into the simplest linear expressions. So thank you for just holding this level of equality and allowing both of us to embody that student and that teacher, and to provide a level of service through our own level of empowerment, for we are all. So thank you for that. Our beloved family, Let us open this sacred space, this sacred divine alchemical container of truth, freedom, wisdom, unity, compassion, and unconditional love, fully consecrated in the name of God through the power and authority of the living eternal Christ. And may we fully expand this through all layers of creation for all of our family that is working within and outside of time to receive these sacred messages, these sacred codes, these sacred seeds of divine remembrance that awakens the freedom that your soul has sought for as it finds this reward, this gift, this birthright in the here and now. Shinama yatanara kishutu. Beloveds, we fully align and consecrate the true north, south, east, west, earth, sky, and heart, the entire spherical nature of our existence, consecrated as God, sovereign and free. Within our group container, we fully anchor the platinum diamond, or the platinum diamond, and the crystal diamond star of unity consciousness, the sixth-rayed star in its unified perfection. And we fully anchor the sixth-rayed star shield of Solomon within our group container for this all levels of rehabilitation and protection and support during this time. We set the highest levels of the crystallic gridding through the 7 tones of creation unified by the 8th tone of the heart. We activate and radiate each tone and harmonic of organic creation to be fully manifest and expanded throughout our entire group field at this time. Our beloved family, we fully set all appropriate spin rates and calibrations for our group field and for all that enter our group container. We open and set free Sovereign 0 point as we call forth all levels of sequencing to be fully integrated and received for each individual that is in alignment with their highest embodiment phase at this time and their highest timeline, their heroic probability path. As we invite our beloved family to be here now to assist with holding the structure of this container as we hold this container infinitely and eternally for all of the transmissions, news updates, and activations that we bring forth to our beloved family and tribe at this time. We invite the Emerald Order and our Blue-Ray Elohim families. We invite the Gold Ray Order and our Gold Ray families. We invite the Amethyst Ray Order and our Violet Ray families to be here with us now. We invite the Ramayanas and the Braha Ramas, the Azurite whale races, all whale, avian, and feline lineages. We call in to be with us at this time and to hold the sound, harmonics, purity, and integrity of organic creation. We call in our beloved Council of 14, the Council of 1. We ask our Council of 12 to hold all 12 locations of the double diamond sun body, of the override pillar, of the Magi Grail crown, to fully hold this in our group container as we fully anchor and radiate the double diamond sun harmonics within our space at this time as well. And we invite all of the creational councils of organic creation that are in service of the sacred law of love, the sacred law of one, including all guardian race families and teams in service to these sacred laws. We invite you to be with us here and now. Beloveds, let us run all levels of crystal sequencing, activation, and harmonization within our group container And let us fully anchor and amplify all of the sacred crystalline amplifiers that assist with holding the harmonic resonance of the purity of all codes and activations brought in, that these may be stabilized, integrated into the core of the earth, core of creation, and that these may be manifest through all layers of the hologram, through all layers of creation, from unmanifest to manifest, from manifest to unmanifest. At this time, as we move forward, let us fully anchor and call in the Trinity, our beloved Mother, our beloved Father, and Christos Sophia. As we anchor the 13th dimensional biocircuit Mother Arc and 14th dimensional Father Arc within our group containers, we humbly ask and request for the assistance through our Christed Avatar teams and God forces to assist in all levels of healing, rehabilitation, and transiting for any family within our group container, as all that has held back the full divine remembrance and embodiment of the true angelic template, the true organic God template, is released fully, let go, as the true divine truth of all that we are is embraced, as all levels of support and guidance are provided. And we ask for each individual, as we connect with the highest self of all individuals in our group container, we offer the Crystal Guardian we offer the appointment of the Crystal Guardianship to assist with guarding and mentoring all individuals through this organic ascension process and this ascension window that we are in. We also ask for all light fibers and channels to be fully connected and resonant with the eternal living light code as God would have it be. As we speak and bring these codes, all bi-wave configurations and architecture are fully transmuted, released, cleared, and extracted in all necessary fashions and forms, as we fully anchor, lock, and seal the trinitized tri-wave eternal life crystalline architecture throughout all layers of existence, throughout all time vectors, throughout all stations of identity, as we fully harmonize and align past, present, future, and parallel as one in this focal point of divine victory and success, for we are the bridge of this divine victory that has always been and forever shall be. And it is time to align this fully, to lift the quarantine fences, to allow our family to remember the divine truth, and to choose unity so that all may return home. Shana sama kitara sha. Sunoki shinimi anoki namaro kishana kiro tara shama toki shana sata. And of course, our beloved Crystal Dragon family, we welcome you in this space as they hold the integrity of this group container and help with all levels of creation and manifestation. And to our beloved 7 Rishik sons and to the 7 sisters, we thank you. That make up our council of 14, we thank you as we welcome the support of our Solar Rishi family as we fully reclaim the kingdom of God, the kingdom of we, for the highest good of all, as all family, all life is fully resurrected, liberated, and free, permanently and eternally, so it be. Shamamor Shaki Sokor Kahu. Alright. Oh, we're just going to begin because there is so much to update on, and we're just choosing to align with whatever comes through that is being asked to share with you guys at this time. And we also make that covenant and agreement to do our best to really make that time to share what's coming through when we receive that guidance. Otherwise, if too much time goes on, we have so much stuff that goes on, it can be a little bit like, it's just a lot to go back. So this will be a quick recap, and hopefully we'll be able to be more constant with this so you guys can get the updates as they're coming out. Alright, so depending on where you're at, everybody's seen the various aspects that's going on the planet, going on here in America with the elections, going on around the world. Everybody's been seeing what's been going on with COVID. A lot of the people in the light worker communities have been hearing about all the meditations, have been doing all this work, have been hearing from all of these groups like, oh, this is happening, these people are being taken down, there's arrests, there's going to be blackouts, like, oh, we've got extraterrestrial races that are here, we've got all sides, from the fallen to the non-fallen people. Like, we got the Galactic Federation, other people are like talking about our celestial teams and family that are here, and are like talking about all this work. Even some of you guys have probably heard us go off about all the work behind the scenes and what's going on. And it's one of those things that it can be, sometimes when we're hearing things, and we see things come up so many times, and we don't really understand what's going on, or we can't really identify and see and consciously measure this progress, it can kind of wear us down. It can kind of create a little bit of a numbing reaction. It can make you a little bit more hesitant. Nobody wants to be gullible. Nobody wants to be misled. Nobody wants to buy into something, even if your soul and heart, it's like, this would be amazing, It's like a lot of people have really given it their all. Like, there's a lot of people that don't even have any more of that faith, that trust, that are losing that hope entirely. So, a lot of people, for them just to choose to believe what's going on right now, just that little bit is too much. It's really difficult for certain individuals to even hold on to that. So it's something we want to be very respectful at this time, because it is a huge level of service for each individual we can inspire and empower to simply have this amount of faith and trust. Because at this point, this is the last time that anybody's going to have to be opened up to believing that something that their soul has called out for is going to happen, only to have everything fall through. Like, we promise each individual that really gives this one last shot, that gives it their all, is going to see everything you've ever needed and more. And it's also critical and important because so many people are going through this process, and a lot are unknown. Some are more aware than others, but this process we're going through, it's what everybody's going through. So we understand what manifests in each and every stage, and we understand how to help guide people through this. And so it's one of those things that, like, I guess I warned you guys this is going to be a training on multidimensional spherical thinking. So, alright, we'll just keep flowing with whatever's going through. Just long story short, this is the time that if you open yourself up and begin to actually trust what's occurring, you're going to have every support imaginable. Things that have been shut off and turned off and are, have not really been accessible. But at the same time, there are a lot of things that are being said that are coming out from people that are running off old storylines, or are only seeing one piece of the puzzle, one piece of the picture, and are basing everything off of what they know or see or have received or experienced off that one focal point. Sometimes you need to see from here, from here, from here, from here, from here. And sometimes you need people in all angles to share those pieces so you can connect the dots and figure out what's going on right in the center. So this is how we address the core of everything that's going on. So it's something we're at a point where a lot of people we don't have like the same terminologies or expressions about what we're seeing. So it's really time for us to expand our own level of consciousness and try to read between the lines. Try to tune into our higher sensory perception. Feel what your heart is bringing out, what your heart is telling you, the resonances, and find those little bits of truth in between whatever you're receiving in your field.
It's so easy to get caught up in the mental mind, to overthink and get stuck up here in the head. And so let us just be that reminder in this moment for you right now to, regardless of everything that has happened over this last year of 2020 and everything that is happening now, and as we continue to move forward, it is really important to try your best to stay in your heart center and to be in your heart, because when you are here, you can finally receive the truth of what is really going on. You won't be getting caught up so much in the confusion of the mental analytical mind trying to figure out what's going on, the heart is simply able to feel. So just feel and actually trust your heart and open your heart up so that you can start beginning to tune into that resonance of what it feels like to really connect with your heart space and really begin to start observing what happens around you and really start tuning in to how your heart is reacting to everything that you are observing or receiving in your life, because then you will begin to finally find a sense of stability with that, instead of getting caught up in a sense of almost like a whirlwind of getting lost, because you can get lost in the mental mind and go around. It may feel like you're going in circles or you're just getting so confused and stressed out. So really come back to the heart, because that is so important, especially right now with everything that's going on, because there are so many narratives going on right now, and a lot of it has to do with this last year. We're getting to the final ending of a war that has been going on for a very, very, very long time. And for most of the 3D consciousness, or most of the individuals on this planet who are not aware of what's going on in the higher dimensions of reality and creation, they are now finally starting to see what's going on with, everything that's been happening on the surface level of the elections and so forth, and COVID and quarantine. But this war has been going on for a very long time, and it's things may seem like they're getting more and more chaotic, but in truth, if you tune into your heart in this moment and realize that we have all been waiting for this time, because this is our time to finally end this war once and for all, to finally realize and awaken to the divine truth of who we are and have always been, and to remember that we are divine unconditional love. We are unity, we are God, and we are sovereign. And to remember that we no longer need or have to play this game. This war is over. And for those individuals right now who are trying to continue to perpetuate these narratives, to try to repeat these wars, it is over. It is over. It is over. And so that is something that we are here to really bring and embody for all of our family, so that we truly can move forward as one family, because it is time to finally release all of these storylines, all of these narratives, and just be who we have always been.
And she's so right about bringing this up, because we are going to go through sequences of what's been going on the last couple of years, through everything now, so you guys can get, instead of the more generalized, vague descriptions, which are so important because so much of the collective needs these, we want to make sure that there's enough of a solid understanding of what's going on, so people, each and every one of you, can have more tangible, physicalized, like, understanding of what's actually occurring, because so much is just he said, she said, this, they said, and once you can begin to understand what's occurring with the blueprints and the frameworks, you can begin to see the macro changes and how this is manifesting and downstepping into the microcosm. We're literally working micro to macro, macro to micro, micro to macro, and every layer in between. So, and like she was saying, it's something that, this is a war that's been going on for a very, very long time. It's really just like the biggest family argument and like divide that's like ever happened. This is like this is like family counseling and marriage rehabilitation all like thrown into one universal construct, where everybody's also a God creator graduating to new levels and everything, and it's about time for graduation. Like, and so like, did you get your GOD? how are your group projects coming along? Like, did you pass? Like, of course you passed. Like, if you're doing your best, that's all it's ever been asked for you. And everybody will receive exactly what's in alignment, what you need. But right now, these are kind of the final levels of testing, of initiation, of training, so you can actually embody all that you are. Like, and so, you know, depending on what perception that you're seeing at, you know, things might be looking more and more intense because things are kindly coming out to the surface. So it might be, you know, the natural ego and body might be like, oh my gosh, I got to protect myself, I got to be safe, all this stuff is going on, you know, and things are getting worse. We got to prepare for this, we got to prepare for that, this might happen, that might happen. No, these are all storylines. This is the present moment, this is what's happening right now, and they're trying to get people to be more entangled in these storylines so everybody co-creates and manifests them. No, we get to choose every moment of what goes on, but we also have the understanding we're co-creating with our family. And so it's something that we understand whatever's going to happen is what our family is choosing. And so it's one of those things that, like, we have the ability to be aware and recognize, and we can choose a different option. And the more work you do, the more you understand these levels of the sacred sciences, the organic laws of this creational construct, the laws of God, the greater access you are granted to make a larger impact within every system on our planet. To the point when those that complete these embodiment stages that are going on, like, you're literally going to be a crystal beacon of the purest frequencies of everything. Grace, abundance, love, compassion, joy. There's not going to be one place on the planet you're not going to be able to go where everything around you starts transforming. And that's what you can see from here because it's happening everywhere on these levels. So with what's coming out, it can seem like this is the start of this. Look at it from the other side. It's coming out because this is the end. And it's something every side is throwing everything they've got at it. And this is the time when we need to stand stronger than we ever have been. This is the time that our family needs ours, yours, everybody's leadership, guidance, wisdom, support. We need the unity. We need to bring things together. Because we don't even like to speak fully on what may be or what may not be. We've been shown certain aspects of what can happen, of what's running, but we also have been being guided to look at, are these things necessary? Is there a better way we can do this? You know, something that is more graceful for each individual.
Even when it may seem like you only have a set of 2 options or very few options, remember that there is no such thing as just this or this, that you always have an infinite amount of options in every single moment for everything in life. Whether you are being led to believe that or not, realize that we are creator beings and we get to create that which we truly want, that is in alignment to all that we are, our entire collective family, to unity consciousness. And as long as you are following your heart, regardless of what's being presented to you as this or this, you always have another option to choose, to create, to follow, to be, to embody for yourself. And even if in any moment you may feel like you don't even know what other option there is to do or to take or to even think about, like, whoa, what am I, like, I only have this and this, what am I going to do? I have to choose one or the other. Know that no, there is no have-tos. And take that moment to just be like, all right, I don't agree with this, I don't agree with this, therefore I am creating and paving a new path for myself, for everyone, for all that I am, for our collective family as a whole, so that we all truly can be free. Because the true choices the choices and the paths that we make that are in alignment with unity consciousness have no limits to them. They have no boundaries.
So then this is incredible that I'm so glad she brought this up, because these go into the pieces of what we'll be sharing here in a little bit too. And that it's something that I through my training originally before we came together, there were certain things with blueprint scripting and architecture work that is was one of the most real and transformative experiences that I've ever really that I've ever really been able to go through, that really started to completely allow me to step in and embody a deeper level of presence and awareness of the power we truly hold, and how this can be utilized for the highest good of all. And it's something that this is everybody's birthright and power. It's something that once we understand the laws of free will and how to work within this system, like, we also understand that free will has always been there, but this system has had a level of infiltration. It's had a level of manipulation to the original coding. So it's one of those things that this system tries to basically take away your God-given right to, like, create that of which is truly in the highest good for yourself and truly aligned with unity consciousness. So many times, like, yes, we are meant to have trials. Yes, we are meant to be to persevere and to be put in situations that challenge us, that really push us against our limits. But too often in this system, it's been constructed in a way where you're meant to go this way, but you're only given these options that take you this way.
Yeah.
And, and everybody in your reality, you can have what people view as authorities, police officers, government officials. You can have doctors, you can have parents, teachers, whatever, that are, like, telling you, no, it's this or it's this, and each one of them might have their reasons. So it might be this with 100 different reasons, and this with 100 different reasons. And, like, at the end of the day, like, it's something that we do have the ability to assess and be like, no, this doesn't work for the highest good of my path, for the highest good of all. This doesn't work for the highest good of my path, for the highest good of all. This is the only path that works. You have the ability to create and make this happen. And I promise you, you can make things that are said to be impossible happen if you're in your heart and it's actually what's needed.
For too long, from the point when we are born, we have been taught how things are, how they work, how things should be, and the way we should act, speak, and even move, and the way we should dress, and how things, just the very fundamental aspect of life as a society. We are brought up to a storyline, a narrative that's already being told to us, instead of we being born into a world where we can simply just grow and discover what is truth for us and for our individualized selves, experiencing with each other as one beautiful family and race of consciousness. And so it's really important, especially in this time that we are in, to remember, to realize that everything that we've been taught from the moment we've been born and throughout our childhood and all the way to whatever age you are now, everything that you've been taught, it's time to really tune into your heart and discover what is the divine truth and what is simply just a story or narrative that somebody else made up to tell you is divine truth. And it's really important to realize that there is so much more than all of these things that people have led so many people to believe is just what it is and how this works. And so it's time, beloveds, it is time to be free of that, and it is time to be you and to discover that you are and have always had this freedom. It's time to take that back and really own that and discover your own path for yourself and be all that you are.
So just to recap, basically just to recap on this, the point to remember before we move forward on this, the point to remember is that what meets the eye is not something that's starting, it's something that's ending, and the trick is that they're trying to have people believe and see something as if it's happening and as if it's what's coming together. And and so to try to get you to actually trigger this are these artificial timelines, these inorganic timelines that perpetuate the exact same storylines and ridiculous games that we are just flat out done playing. Like, it does not need to be this way. It never needed to be this way. Everybody wants the same goal at the end of the day. It's just practically everybody's forgotten how to actually achieve that. So why keep taking the second best or next best option that's the only thing you can remember when your family is here with open arms, ushering and wanting and crying out for you to come home? And because this is what you deserve, each and every individual. So, Shanamara Yakiaro Shamasa Isha Pushasa Sunomora Shiniala Karo Shamoya Sana Yishinamoro Kitara Shamahushiniaka.
Rashiati Elia Kanyu Mutulu tu Maria Kisiara tu Matiacha Shasha tu Umeshiataria.
Maria Shunaki. So, now that we've opened up all of this, and I'm just going to run through a brief little, just some of the brief key points that have happened over the last couple of years that have really brought everything into alignment now, so everybody can kind of be rapidly brought up to speed so we can move forward together all on the same page. This process has been going on for, let's just say, everything that we've been dealing with has been going on for eons and eons and eons, like hundreds of billions of years. What we're dealing with right now from the transition of lunar dynasty control to solar dynasty oversight has been going on for roughly the last eon. Let's just say that there were even factions of the lunar dynasty that decided to started to break out of the trajectory that this family line was going on and started to go in their own direction. And but because they forgot the origins, it still started to perpetuate the same stuff that we've been dealing with. So it's something that this has been going on for so long. And over the last few 100,000 years, even over the last 75,000 years, down to the last 26,000 years, we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer. But keep in mind, time doesn't really work like that. So it's something we're just all there right now, and everything is just like coming to the center point, the focal point, 0 point where the true expansion can occur. And everything can be restored to the perfection blueprint that we've all been working on, waiting on, feeling coming out. And it's time to see this firsthand. So, basically, so it's something that so much of our family, the original ground crew teams, a lot of these seedings when we've come in, our family, a lot of what we refer to as the original key players, all of this work has been done in the most divinely perfect, like sequential manner, like placed in every level so that this can actually come to life and blossom. And now we're at the point where all of this is here. And it's something that, especially once we began to cross into the 2012 area, this was one of the really big stage of shifting and initiating into starting the process of breaking free from a lot of the distortions and everything. There are many groups that held things down to get to that point, that from that point on actually led or picked up certain entanglements and had certain distortions and come in that threw them a little bit off their path. But the placement was so perfect that each group that needed to step in to take on that next stage was able to do this successfully. As we began to approach into 2017, this is when a lot of the actual architecture and infiltration in our system began to be radically shut down and cleared out. This is when we began to receive the message that, you know, the final war is the inner war, what's been going on with each individual, and these storylines were going to play out until the point where each individual kind of reached that point where they really saw what was going on and began to actually make a different choice. But we needed to get to a point where each individual could actually see this for themselves, could feel it, could experience it, so they know why they're making that choice instead of just following something that they're being told or other people are saying something. Like, this is key. We need each individual to get why they are making this choice for yourself. Nobody can do this for you. Nobody can tell you what to do. We can provide guidance, we can provide insight, we can share stories and our experience, we can even give you recommendations that we feel. But the true work, the true reward will only be seen when you allow yourself to be devoted in that manner, dedicated to your true freedom, liberation, God embodiment.
We are the antidote. Remember and realize that there is no one, nothing coming to save us. We are here. We are here. It is time to realize that it is you, it is I, it is all of we that are doing this for each other, for ourselves, that bring the divine truth and the freedom and liberation we all are seeking. The true peace and harmony we all are seeking is from we. We do this for each other, for ourselves, and it is we who are doing this. remembering we are the antidote. We are the answer. The answer that we are seeking and waiting for is us. It is you, it is I, it is all of us.
So, basically, as we moved forward, especially as we got into towards 2019, let's just say that there were certain attempts, like there have been so many like attacks, projects, things that have tried to work against humanity in this progress, like so much that has been overridden continuously, that if people actually saw the work that was being accomplished, like we would all be celebrating because we're literally at the final end of a war. It's not like we're getting attacked from all angles, like we've been getting attacked from all angles.
Yeah.
Now we have all angles identified, so every time something's trying to come in, we know what's going on. So we override it. Like, and sometimes, it's hard to see it all in that moment because everything's so big. But as we move forward, it's just apparent, and it's happening faster and faster. It's manifesting in the physical reality that we're a part of faster and faster. And quite literally, we're reaching this point of the cosmic finale where everything that all of the chaos comes to that final point where it's just perfection after that. Like, but we have to go through this little bit of turbulence at this point.
It's very similar to an ego death and rebirth process on a collective scale.
It's literally like the worst psychedelic trip ever. You're just like, what do you do other than ride it out and just hold on to your sanity and call on all your support to help you get through this.
But that's why it's so important to stay aligned to unity and to stay aligned through your heart, to be in your heart, not your mind. Be in your heart, working with your mind, but staying in your heart, staying in your center, staying aligned to the unity path is key, especially as we move and continue to move through this storm of all these storylines as they continue to just dissolve away. It's really important to not attach yourself to any of them, to any of these narratives. It's really important to not fall into those traps, those, stories. They're just all stories. They're all stories. And remembering that we get to make our own choice, we get to choose our own path, and we get to create our own story. And the story that all of our collective family is here for is unity. And if you choose unity, then everything else just simply falls away. Just continue to hold as we continue to ride through this roller coaster ride. We are here. It's time.
And it's just like we were talking about earlier about the timelines. Like, if you don't see or feel unity, know that this isn't a timeline that's going out of the way. This is a part of yourself that is still needing to learn what unity is and to come together with these other sides. So at any point, if you ever feel or see anything that seems like it's out of alignment and harmony with your perception of unity, remember, we have always been unified. We are one. So this is your consciousness needing to heal this level of separation and division within. And so one of the greatest tools you can utilize is the 6-rayed star. Like, viewed the 6-rayed star, what's been seen as the Star of Solomon, the Star of Melchizedek, the Star of David. But view this 6-rayed star, the depth and entirety of what's behind this is everything. It's so big. And this is a tool that you can actually use for every level of healing, rehabilitation, protection, support. And this is a symbol of unity in itself. So if you fall out of alignment or you're feeling like there's not unity there, like, see this symbol in your heart, see this symbol around your entire body and being, just radiating and emanating beautiful rainbow and platinum frequencies and light just emanating off of this. Like, this is something that can very quickly and rapidly assist you with just harmonizing and aligning to unity consciousness. And the more you do this, the more natural it'll become. And it's something that, like, until the point where you just see unity and divine orchestration everywhere. It's all that is. It's been right in front of us this entire time. We get little glimpses of it. We see little bits here and there. And it's so easy to fall out of that awareness. But when you devote yourself to this path and you continuously bring yourself back to that state of unity consciousness and awareness, you eventually hit a level where this is just perpetual. It's eternally sustained. And it just grows from that point on. So, to continue with the recap, it's something that basically around 2019, this is also when a lot of the deepening hierogamic templating began. This is a lot of when the true unification, healing between the mother and father, as well as a lot of the extraction, clearing of the false mother, false father, architecture, overlays, like crazy stuff that we won't go into right now. But this began also a year that began deepening levels of repair with the heart, as well as the wing architecture. Something that for some of you guys that have yet to really catch up onto the wings, like I used to think that this was just metaphorical. I used to think that this was something that was just like what people associated with or viewed, but it's a very real part of our anatomy, and it's something that has had significant damage to this, and it's something that's been undergoing extensive repair and rehabilitation. And so this is really, really big. This level of work that's being completed is another piece that is further allowing the development of the Diamond Sun Gold Ray architecture to assist the facilitation of organic ascension on this planet for all of our family, regardless of if they've been able to embody the 12-strand architecture yet. For We Choose Unity, and we want all family to have this opportunity for full genetic rehabilitation. So there was a lot, especially through 2019, that was really trying to cause, or 2019, I guess, into 2020, because that was kind of the start. A lot into 2020 that was trying to stop this work from happening. And so it's something that, but between something happened in 2019, let's say, that was bringing in deeper levels of the Solar Christ masculine and Solar Christ feminine templating for this universal construct. And when that occurred, it was something that we told people 1 year from that point, starting the week of March 17th, that there would be something that would begin on the planet that was just absolutely massive. And so it was something we couldn't give exact details on how this was going to present itself, but that it was something that things that we have been having to go through personally and having to work on was going to be manifest for everybody in the collective, and this was going to initiate the next level of sequencing to help facilitate this organic ascension. So it's something we told everybody, get ready for what's going to happen starting the week of March 17th. Sure enough, 1 year later, I think it was like March 16th or so, like, is when the corona lockdowns were called out, when things started to get shut down, when this started to being perpetuated. Keep in mind, even corona was anticipated to be way worse than it was, and it's something that this is just another level of the subtle overrides that have been happening, that have been thwarting their plans in general. But it's really important for us to express this to people because we can share from the core blueprint and the framework and foundation. Like in creation, there are truly infinite possibilities and expressions that can make manifest. When we try to work from what we're seeing here and work with our mind and stuff like that on what we feel needs to be changed, altered, created, whatever, we're constantly getting spun out in this construct. Like we simply cannot see all the pieces that are actually needed. So it's something that like all we know is that when you go into the core blueprint of something, the framework, like at that point you've set the architecture. Like all of the parameters, everything. So everything manifests from that. But it's open source. We're not telling people you only have this, this, and this as an option. No, it's an open source like architecture that allows organic creation and soul expression so we can continuously evolve our God consciousness. So it's something, these parameters were a little bit altered. They've had to be reconfigured. The blueprint has had to be restored. So from this blueprint, it's an inevitable transformation that happens from it's like this that's holding our entire universal construct. It just simply is what it is. And in order for everything to organically align, it's something that there's going to be manifestations within here that we're not always going to fully understand. And sometimes, you know, especially if we're not aware of the power that we hold, the work that's being done, it can be very easy to step out of our power, to step out of our sovereignty, and to get caught up in these little things. And if we start to try to use our power and authority to stop these little things, we might be self-sabotaging the actual macro vision that we're holding and aligning in. So it's something, it's really, really critical when you understand how this works, because then you can start to, it allows you to be more comfortable detaching from the storylines and narratives that are manifesting within this, and to be able to anchor fully like all that you are to the absolute inner knowing that the true divine perfection blueprint, everything that you have ever sought for and more is here. It's already here. It's already been being implemented. It's already coming online. For those of you that have just been out there trying, for those of you that really stepped in your heart, that are, been out there helping our family doing this, like, you're seeing the level of support come in. You're seeing a lot of growth. You're seeing levels of abundance. Like, this is just the start. Like, all of our family has chosen unity on these levels, but very, like, sadly, it has been a much different story to crystallize that unity consciousness and that teamwork here and now. And with each individual that continues to make their way around this journey into the realization that we need each other and we need all the pieces that we hold, like, with each person that gets further along with that understanding and realization is going to receive more and more and more, so you can put that of which is coming into your alignment, into your field, into action to further assist with this crystallization. Because I promise you, there are things that are happening, like our Council of 14, the Council of One, like, it's what is happening, all of our family that's here right now, it's huge. And it's something that there are certain individuals, leaders, very powerful, sacred, hierogamic couplings that are out there on our planet right now that, like, have done an incredible job with themselves and with their partnership in developing and unifying many different groups and organizations. But quite literally, the only work that can actually be done on the levels that we wanted is through our councils and teams coming together. We've been working outside of this construct. We've been working in no time, but it's something, so a lot of the times if you hold that focal point of awareness, it's very easy to be like, this has already been done. We don't need to do anything. It's imperative that we remember that we are that bridge, like here, both for all of our families within this construct, but we are also that bridge, like, to our true home. Something has been disconnected, something has been shut off, something has tried to block the true communications and transmissions that would have helped guided our family. So it's something that we continue to call out, knowing all is divinely aligned in the most perfectly orchestrated manners for the highest good of all. But we are continuing to call out and pray for our family to come together and to see each other for all that we are, and to be able to stand in equality and unity as the sovereign Christed citizens that we are, that truly stand for the highest good of all life, all light, all kingdoms. And that knowing that as we come together, we may further support and empower all of our families, all of our lineages, all of our tribes, to truly have the greatest party and celebration that we have ever had, that we've ever looked for, and to remind our family the true joy, happiness, and fun that is held within the divinity and held within this crazy journey and experience we've all been on. Oh, so continuing forward, 2019 was freaking crazy, or 2020, oh, it's been crazy, 2020. When this started, this began a year that was very, very hard for everybody on the planet. It's been harder in different ways, shapes, and forms. Everybody's been tested. Everybody's got to go through trials and initiations. And those of you that have really soared through those, like, you're already seeing what's manifesting, especially over the last couple of months. Like, just get ready. Is what's coming in for you. It's here, it's coming in hot, it's coming in fast, and it's going to keep picking up. And just make sure you are standing in integrity. Make sure you are being truthful and honest with yourself. Make sure that no matter what kind of growth or anything you're seeing, that you're constantly checking yourself for anything that comes up that might be trying just to throw you a little bit off your path. Like, self-awareness and discernment is critical at these stages. It's been critical the entire time, but really use this, because there are going to be things that are still going to be trying to come up to throw you out of alignment and harmony.
Especially when you're really, really doing the work and you're on this path of sovereignty, unity, and really doing that inner work. Because again, as he said earlier, we are now at the finale, and all that's left is the inner war that is going on. And that which we are seeing on the outer landscape is a simple reflection of what's going on inside. And so for those of you who are really doing that work, first of all, we are so grateful. Thank you so much for making it this far. And we also just want you to know that you can do it, and we are here together, and we are here for all to support and bring love for that. Ishi creature che siamo turi shakitia natilia tu uru sitia sia siamo turu kia nati amurua. But it's important for when you're on this path, if there's anything that starts to try to come in to your life, whether it's coming through your relationships, your friendships, through your own thoughts even, dreams, anything like that, that may be trying to cause doubt. Doubt is a big one, or causing fear. Fear is another really big one. These are things that, again, it's when he's saying, like, check yourself and really ask yourself, okay, is this really coming from me, or is this a level of interference that's trying to get me to that's trying to throw me off my path? And so just really be aware of that as you continue on your path. We deal with it on a regular basis. The work that we're doing as we're doing grid work or helping with the planet or helping to do whatever we are feeling guided to work on as we continue to move forward, we as a sacred union really try our best to be there for each other, because especially for sacred unions or for any partnerships that are coming together and creating this hierogamic union, especially right now, there is a massive level of opposition that is trying to stop that. And so if you are coming together with your sacred partner and suddenly you're experiencing arguments and you're getting triggered and all these crazy things are happening, know that that is very much a part of the natural process of growth and evolution. Because those triggers and things that are coming up is part of the inner work, part of the shadow self, the pain body, things that are needing to come to the surface, to be healed, to be addressed, to be honored, to be remembered, to be understood. And so it's important to really be in that awareness and self-check all the time, and just asking yourself, having those inner conversations, and with your sacred partner too if you're in a partnership, to continue on this path, because it is challenging and there is a lot within us that we need to work on and heal and release. And there is a massive amount of opposition that also tries to come in to play and amplify certain things that's going on within us, or that tries to instill doubt or fear or create or amplify the triggers and anger and things like that, to create that separation, to break apart those hierogamic unions, to break apart you from your own path and from what you're doing and your divine mission. And so just remember that when things get hard and when things become challenging, there is something there for you that is aligned, that you are truly actually in alignment with. Keep going. Lean into that challenge. And I encourage you to lean into that challenge and to really dive deep within yourself, so you can understand the truth behind what's going on, rather than react and become a victim of the challenge that is there for you to be stronger, to grow, to evolve, to ascend.
All right. Now, as it starts to pick up a little bit more interesting as we get closer and closer to the proper, or to the current moment in time where we are at right now. Sonama kinata janama ziagazutu zama jagazakia juto zama gaza juzuto jamazulu la 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 juma zagina kaja kagia takashinaki shamakyo shanama atia sunosha sapa shama maka mamaka mamaka papa 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 shotototototum shonomothraki shata rosha huma Rishikata Rikishitaka Roshamaka Hishoto. So earlier this year in 2020, as things progressed, like there's been like like you're expressing, there's so much that comes in. Like, those of you that know, like, when you shift from doing the work you think you're doing on the planet, everything's just gravy and rainbows, you're like, oh, to the actual work that's being done, and you start to realize what comes with this level of service and why very few are actually doing it. It can be a lot. And like she said, especially on relationships, partnerships, it can be very strenuous, very straining. So it's like really, really important, like, if you're doing this work by yourself, to make sure that you're being safe with this and respectful of others that don't hold that same level of sovereignty. And if you're doing this with your partner, you guys really need to just be in alignment with each other and be aware that, you know, they're... Yeah, tough journey, but...
understand that it really is a part of the process, and it's really important to be able to have that support and that space, especially in a partnership, in a relationship, for you and your partner to really be there for each other no matter what is happening or coming to the surface, because without that support, without that space being held for you both, this can be a really difficult path, especially in the time period we're in right now. It could be really, really difficult. And so it's just important to remember to have compassion for yourself and for everyone around you, for your partner, for your friendships, for your family members, for everyone in your life, to have that compassion, because we all are going through this together. We all are going through this, and everyone is on their own is in their own level or place along their path, unique to them, and everybody is going through what they need to, but we are all going through this together. So it's important to remember that and hold compassion and really hold that space and be there for each other, because we need that to get through everything that's going on within, to really heal and honor every facet of that which we are.
Yeah, so I don't know how people would go through this without a certain level of support. Like, it's a lot. So to each and every one of you guys that have been doing the work and have been fulfilling your mission so beautifully, so gracefully, like, even if it doesn't seem like it's very graceful, it seems like chaotic, crazy, and you're just like, defense, like, yeah, our family views it as graceful and extraordinary. And so just know that we honor you and your process and journey so much, and it really has been one of the greatest levels of service that can ever be accomplished or expressed. And it's really exciting to get to watch so many of you, so many of all of us go through this first wave of graduation, so to speak, and really get to put all that we've learned and experienced into action. It's going to be really cool. Anyway, so... basically, as a lot of you guys know, the way that our free, we're not in a perpetual, or, how do I put this? We've already fallen. Like, when you look at it on one side, like, we've already gone through all of this. We already, like, failed to align to unity consciousness and went in a direction that simply we don't need to go in again. So although time doesn't work in these ways, it's most accurate to say we almost came back from the future to identify the key focal point where we could really make the biggest impact and kind of redirect all of our family onto this highest timeline. So it's one of those things that Shanakara kia katata kiyama ana 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 aligning back on the trajectory that we were seeking. Oh yeah, we came back from the future to align on the trajectory to bring everybody home. Like, but with where we're at right now, basically, it's something that, whatever this flows into. So, basically, it's something, though, that us coming back here at this point, basically, thank you for your patience with this as well, you guys. So, basically, at this point, let's just go on continue on the recap of this sequencing, what's going on. It's something that earlier this year was the first time that certain members from our original Council of 14 were actually able to find each other. Especially since a lot of us have been distanced on different continents and in different countries, and to really hold this down on the planet. So it was really, really powerful as we started to be able to come together, and as the additional sacred partnerships and hierogamic unions started to come together. Let's just say that one of the most important events to update was there was a new blueprint that was actually downstepped. When this was downstepped, it simultaneously released all 4 layers and quadrants of both the Emmanuel and Yana coding, the Manu and Yana sequencing, as well as an alchemical synergization and creation of mana, like eternal life output, that was really generated. That's where the fallen thing. Basically, because of where we're at right now, we're in a state of fall. We're not completely fallen yet at this point. And so it's something that we reached a point, though, where our family and our true home and those of us that originate from these areas, we're not even able to enter this system. It's one of those things, like, we simply could not be here. And even bringing ourselves in, we could only bring aspects of ourselves, like the lowest pieces, because to even try to force a level of expansion in this system could actually collapse in itself. It's been a very delicate level of surgical, alchemical processes and sequencing just to get us to this point. Like it's the biggest alchemical project of ever, really. So it's one of those things. Part of this project has had to be able to come down here because there's certain truths that we just hold that no matter where we're at, it's literally etched into the fabric of our soul. So it just starts to manifest, and it can be a little bit of a rocky ride trying to figure this out and trying to identify, who we truly are and what we're able to do. And so it's something that we've been here, we've been building the foundation, we've been restoring the architecture, we've been raising our frequency. So every time we hit a new level, we're able to, actually bring in more of our family. So this is why as we've hit certain levels, a lot of the children, a lot of the kids that are coming in, are huge because they're almost like anchors. It's like we pushed to this much level just to get to this level where enough of these kids can come in here, and now we're like, sweet, anchor, lock, and seal at this frequency. And it might drop down a little bit, but we're anchored there. And then, we're going through, and we hit another level, more are able to come in, We're also seeing certain levels of walk-in contracts and stuff like that are occurring as well to facilitate during these times. So it's a continual process for us to really be able to actually bring our family here and to be able to begin to manifest. The 12-strand architecture has been lost in the system for quite a while. And so even what people think to be so advanced and so developed is really only a partially developed or digressive template. A lot of these, even the forms of immortality that come with the reversal templates, the anti-Christic templates, like the 10.5, 11.5 dimensional reversal, genetic configurations and stuff like that. It's like people have literally lost the truth of what we are and what it really means to be an immortalized, eternal life being. And what it means to really be God and the embodied entirety of all that we are while holding your individualized I am expression.
Especially with just as a result of all the warring and everything that's been going on, focusing over the last eon has really transformed the system we are now in into a finite system, meaning disconnected from source, meaning disconnected from 0 point, which then is what creates the aging process, which is what creates, the false flower of life, the fallen tree of life, the distorted creations that birth through this system because of that fallen template, and it just continues to perpetuate itself over and over from micro to macro, macro to micro, because this system has been disconnected from source, from 0 point. And now, where we are at now, as we remember who we are, who we truly are, we are reconnecting back to source. We are reactivating 0 point, which means we are restoring the true templating of that which is who we truly are, what we are truly made of. The 12-tree grid, the real flower of life, the immortality, the infinite system that this system was always meant to be and now is being restored back to. And the way in which everything flows in creation from micro to macro, macro to micro, as an infinity system rather than a finite system is where we're transitioning to. And it's a process of going from this system that's been so distorted and fallen to the original architecture of what we truly are, the 12 strands of DNA and everything that he's talking about and bringing into this space as well.
Everything that we are talking about, because these are the truths that we have found and are sharing, and that so many of you have been finding and expressing, and as our truths to come together, the masterpiece that unfolds and that we are able to witness is just it's another one of the many incredible blessings that are in store for us, to be able to truly see all that has been and always will be, and understand how we expand this in itself, and how we really evolve all that we are. So anyway, as we were going through, it's been a process of just raising the frequency of things so we can gracefully, without destroying life, collapsing things, having too much chaos or anything like that, like build things in an organic manner to provide the opportunity for all family to really realign with what they're truly seeking on a soul level. And so basically earlier this year, it was something that at that time period, we were able to embody a Trinity configuration: Mother, Father, Christos, Sophia, Son, Sacred Son. And it's something that through this Trinity configuration of our Council of 14, we were able to downstep a blueprint within the morphogenetic field of this universal construct that simultaneously released all layers of the Manu Yana coding sequencing. This provided such a massive influx of reconfigurations of like plasma, living light, everything that it actually allowed for our amethyst order, our beloved violet ray holders of our violet ray order, and a lot of the Braha Rama Azurite whale consciousness to be coming in more and everything, and to assist with the levels of transfiguration of the shadow body, the universal shadow body, as well as to assist with the proper alignment and configuration of the planetary staff, and to assist with the amethyst ray diamond sun architecture. So they were basically creating a level of field and support that allowed for the next level of work to really be done. As we cleared out more, our frequency was able to raise a little bit higher. And so this took a period of months, though, really to actually start to be able to manifest in the ways that were needed. And then they really started to step up, especially our Amethyst Ray order, back towards the end of September, beginning October, is when there was a lot of presence that was coming in really strong. And so then as we progressed forward with that, keeping in mind also that during this, after we had initiated that blueprint, it was also back in April that we began a new, we downstepped another blueprint and aligned it to the 13 and 14 alchemical laws, like the true sacred laws of God. Something that this sequence, we won't go into it now, but this is another level of architecture that has led to a lot of the imprinting. This is why there's a lot of distortions with the zodiacs and modern astrology, a lot of things that are picked up that need to be cleared. When people are aligned and aware of these sacred processes, something that has been erased and lost throughout time. So many people have gone on the path of alchemy and through attempts with these digressive and distorted sacred sciences. And this is the true process that brings you back to that full transfiguration into your diamond sun architecture. Each individual has the ability to realign consciously to go through this, just like each individual has been doing as much of their work as they can in this giant group container called Earth, and this universal construct that we're in. And now it's something that basically now a new sequence was put out that actually began to restore these natural laws for everyone to be restored. So these are the original like lenses, and these are the transmissions that are actually coming out that each person will be interacting with. So it's something that each individual, and we've been asked to help attune and align certain individuals to this within any time between now and over the next few months before this cycle completes, and then this phase begins with every individual, because everybody will be going through this. And the more awareness you have of this, the easier it is to navigate through this, and the more of our family that's trained with the awareness of this process can be of that much greater service to our family, and further training and preparing others to be able to assist people through these times. So it's something because things could get really pretty, just let's just say messy. Like, it's like purging, cleaning, detoxing. All of this stuff is like not just a clean, graceful process, but we're here to make this as fun and as graceful as possible for each individual. So basically a new templating. This is also something that was restoring and downstepping the true hierogamic template into this system, helping crystallize that. And so that was basically, that was initiated. This will be completing once the cycle restarts itself, but the 14th stage of stabilization and physical manifestation will go through all the way till May 5th, 2021, at which point we'll be breaking free from a lot of these fallen, distorted timelines. So it's something that these aspects, as we get closer and closer to that, there might be a lot of turbulence, so to speak, and we're going to have to learn to work together to navigate through this storm.
Remember the heart.
The heart is the key. Veam shinayaro yamara ara 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 kata sakata ta 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 kara ka 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 shatata ta 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 sa 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 shutu tu 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 shaki sata kita yashata bakata ta 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 shutu tu tu shio yatamatara yashana kushata.
No matter how chaotic it may seem to get, stay in the heart. Stay in the heart. Stay in the eye of the storm. Ishiriaturu soto umiatia kiriato umbre shikiriakia noria niatia oriate shatiariata ainatra alakia mo oshisiata.
So yeah, all the good stuff coming up. So basically, with all of this going on, like I said, it's just layer upon layer upon layer, all crystallizing, like all the work done through all the centuries, millennia, aeons, all the work in the present moment, it's all coming together in one perfect sequence. It's just extraordinary. But so basically, let's just say a little bit more room was made, and it gave us a little bit more flexibility for the next layer of our family to come in. And with this also began further levels of the creation of the architecture of the diamond sun gold ray body. Something that is really, really, really just like awesome in itself, especially once we saw that it's like actually literally like almost like a diamond sun architecture is being created for the entire planet, which is probably another reason why Earth's going to be a huge level of, or is going to be facilitating a lot of the assistance with Ascension from other star races and other groups and everything like that that'll actually be coming through these locations. So go us, our teams, like we got a lot that we've already accomplished and a lot that's need to be prepared so we can welcome everybody and really go through these next stages, because life is never going to be the same as what anybody has ever seen or remembered. And what's going to be happening coming out is going to be unique, something we've never seen at all in this creation. And it's part of the mystery, but it's also part of the blessing and the reward. So it's kind of exciting. And I promise you, no matter what you think, no matter what you learn and think, nobody can even fathom how truly epic this is going to be. So anyway, now we're getting to the point in December. There's a lot in December that occurred. And then when we got to the alignments, the conjunctions, the solstice alignments, let's just say there were certain levels of portals that were activated and open and aligned to further allow our family to come in and be able to do more work. Very extensive families for our family, healing of the family of Michael and Mary. Just the names that have been associated, that are best understood, that have seeded the archetypes that allow our family to be inspired by. And so this was really, really big. This was a major level of healing for the masculine as well as for the feminine and for the Divine Mother and the Divine Father to come together. So another layer of restoration of the family units and this perfected architecture. So this went through, there was a lot of layers, and then also it's something that now during this, what occurred is it actually allowed for the solar rishi to begin to actually come into our system. So especially for our Council of 14, And for those with the Rishik level of embodiment, there's aspects of our consciousness and soul matrix that are basically going to start being able to manifest that we're simply not able to be here beforehand. This is something that's kind of weaving into our systems as everything's coming online. It's also helping restore the tri-wave configurations, which is necessary for the eternal life architecture, for the pure diamond crystalline architecture to be able to be made manifest.
This is a huge moment of celebration for the Solar Rishi to be back here with us on this planet and in this dimensional plane and moment in time, because this means that these are the 7 and 7, the original primordial sons and daughters, mothers and fathers of our creation, of all that we are. This is huge. This is very, very massive. It's such a beautiful gift for us to finally reach this point in our ascension, in our growth, in our evolution, where we're at now together. This is such a really big moment for celebration for the Solar Rishi to finally be back here with us now.
I forget that we're able to be more open and sharing certain things. And so it is actually really, really awesome because our Council of 14 manifesting and embodying here are the original family leaders for each one of the original 12 tribes of humanity. These are, let's just say these are the original key player embodiments of the archetypes that have been seeded and of all family lines that have been made manifest throughout this universal construct. So, let's just say there's a lot that are still, each individual had a lot of clearing, had a lot of detanglements that needed to occur. There's a lot of stuff even with the ego and certain things that need to be addressed from, just a lot that certain individuals are still needing to come into alignment with. And it's going to be very, very exciting to see all the development and unity consciousness that's really crystallized as we move forward into this year. The Solar Rishi and this level of consciousness expansion is coming in. This is really, really big. There's a lot of work that in order for us to really transition smoothly and to have this be aligned for the highest good of all, we do need some mediators basically that can really keep things smooth and just things we're not going to go into right now. Let's just say that this is the side of our family that's going to be helping largely with this. So just another layer of what was needed and needed to be prepared at the all right timing, all as we could perform the sequencing. And as we've been reaching this level, like you guys, to have this level of like our family coming in is just huge. Like it's been a long time, like a lot of work just to get to this point, and that's quite literally where we're at. So now moving forward, now that everything's been opened up, let's just say that like literally like right now, just because there's a lot, like I said, this is just a recap, there's a lot we're going to be sharing as we move forward. But right now, let's just say everything has been on go time. Like the DNA strand architecture has been fully repaired. Like the capability for 12-strand embodiment is here. There's an aspect, a level of final recalibrations, and levels of just emancipation, liberation, and transfiguration that's needed to go on with the 12 tribes of humanity, with all of the 12 stargates, both inner and outer locations, with the 12 DNA strand template, which from this allows for the more advanced, like 24, 36, 48 plus strand DNA templates to be made manifest, whatever's in the highest alignment for you at this time. But that core template, the core base 12 template is the architecture that we're working and restoring. And it's amazing because symbolically and alchemically speaking, a group container of 14 individuals is put together, using a mixture of individuals that are just beautiful divine beings that are here of service, as well as certain direct Council of 14 members that we're working together in this container. To go through, and we're spending the next few months to really crystallize and heal and restore all of this. Like even there were certain things that needed to be a little bit balanced and harmonized. So we've even brought the Arizona Stargate up from 89% to about 100%. The Cyprus Stargate, we brought it from about 44% to 96%. There's a lot of calibrations, especially as we go through each sphere. And each harmonic triad and stuff like that they'll kind of be synchronizing, aligning, smoothing everything out. But this is here. Now it's time to just basically activate that and bring them online. This has been in a dormant state for a very long time. And part of this templating right now is basically activating this potential for each individual. And so when this is completed, a stage will begin. This is the next cycle of the alchemical stage, is the next cycle of this, where this potential will be fully made manifest and available for all of our family, for all of you guys. So depending on what level of work you're done, you're going to start to see this manifest throughout your body, throughout your own personal diamond body architecture. At the same time, this is also the opportunity, because now it's like you put this work in, you really strive for this, you're going to see that of which is necessary coming back. At the same time, there are a lot of races and groups, just other variations of our family and various factions that have had a lot of digression in the system. They are missing strands entirely. There are just a lot of templates, a lot of stuff that has occurred. It's been very clear that there is a level of rehabilitation being offered to each and every individual all group. It does not matter where you are at with this. Even when people say that there's a certain point when you reach like 60 or 70%, of a fall state, it's impossible. You're just stuck like that. No, we've received very clearly this is not the case. There is never a point of no return. There just is a point where the consciousness can barely comprehend or remember everything, and it's very, very difficult to make that choice decision. I mean, we have even freaking some of our family lines and stuff like that specifically hybridized with like some of the reptilian races and stuff like that without anticipating how hard it can be to actually make the choices and decisions and to stay in your heart and integrity when you've got this level of interference and stuff like that that's coming from a level of consciousness that is digressed and simply like cannot feel, connect, remember, have any recollection of how it is that we are truly supposed to be and what comes from living a life like this and living a life in unity versus having to go through these parasitic and consumptive ways to actually be able just to perpetuate a lesser version of existence that is not needed. And this game is played out for a very long time. We want everybody to have that opportunity. So it is going to be a little bit hard, which is why the more support we have, the more people that have done this, that can really be there for some of those individuals and family that are dealing with more of these digressive templates, because each individual, if that person's made that decision and truly wants it and begins doing the work, we have teams that are literally there to completely reconstruct the entire angelic template. And so it's something, we've literally created every contingency plan that you can ever imagine, because we don't want anybody to be like, we can't leave any of our family stuck or in these situations. So we've literally created every layer, possibility, and option that is for the highest good of each individual and is for the highest good of God, of all that we are, of creation. So
just breathe for 1 second. And you can practice breathing with us too. Take a deep breath in. Two more. Last one, and fully relax.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
So unbelievably grateful for my I Alright, so yeah. So basically that's a little bit of the updates of the progression of where we are right now. And now, because of this, taking all these pieces that we've seeded, it's something that, like, just know that everything is being done on all sides. So, but it's something that, just like there's been groups behind the scenes that most of the collective didn't even know existed, that have literally been the people that have been in charge of media and education and finances and all of the stuff that's literally shaped our reality, like shaped the physical world that we're in. Like, most people didn't even know these families were there and had that level of power and control. So just like that was silently in the shadows but holding the framework of this construct, like this is the changing of the guard. Like these positions, these things are not people stepping up and like, oh, this is where we are, like, looking, needing the fame, needing all of this. It's the people that actually have done the work and understand this and are wanting with everything that they are, with all that we are, to like see you be able to explore and play and express yourself and learn in the organic fashions that were always intended. And so it's something we never want anything that could get in the way of you fully having this experience. So it's something, these changes that are happening are so subtle because it's going to be done in a way until you see what's going on, at which point the moment you make that recognition, a whole world is going to open in front of you that's been here this entire time. Mm-hmm. And this is the ground crew. This is where we've been working from. That is really just rolling out the red carpet, the rainbow carpets, and preparing so that when we pull the plug, so to speak, and that our family has the support, that we have that foundation, so that this can be a process that is truly, truly enjoyed and well received by each and every individual.
It is a gradual process, so it is not necessarily something that happens super suddenly, although as we go through our own experiences to your own unique path, things may be happening suddenly depending on, certain levels of the work, or if you haven't done any of the inner work, or depending on where you're at along your path, things may be more overwhelming, or things may be easier in comparison to others. We all have our own unique paths of growth and everything, but just keep in mind that on the collective overall scale, as we are transitioning out of this fallen, distorted, finite system, transforming back into the original, organic, templating, blueprinting, infinite, source-connected system. It is a gradual process, and we are currently right now in the transition, which is why things are coming to the surface now as we raise the frequencies, and as these frequencies continue to raise, things are going to continue to come to the surface, and the war and everything that's been going on inside is going to continue to reveal itself throughout the landscape. Just know and understand and to realize the war is over. It is done. This game is over. It is done, and this is simply the transition process for all of us, awakening to what's really going on, what has been going on, awakening and realizing that this doesn't need to keep going on. And that it's time to take back you. It is time to take back your power. It is time to remember who you are and to make that choice for yourself, but for all of we in unity, so that we all truly can be free, so we can transition gracefully into a world, into a earth, a place, a reality that we all want, that we've been wanting for so long. And it's possible, it's here, it's happened, it's accomplished, it's manifested. It's just time for us to realize that, this game is actually over, and we don't have to keep playing it, and it's time to just be. Remember who you are. We are here. It is happening. So this is a process, and again, just stay in the eye of the storm as we continue to transition through.
And just one thing as an update that's already been happening, there are actually a lot of, so some of you guys know that there's been a lot of resurrection work done with the Seraphim genetics. And it's pretty cool because this is another aspect of why we're seeing so many individuals start to awaken and refine to deeper truths and be able to naturally and organically start to step into their power. Like we very well might begin to see individuals that are very seemingly unawakened or very lost on their path that might radically begin to make very massive leaps forward. That was simply necessary through the reconfiguration, reconstruction of these genetic templates and the liberation and freedom from the constructs and architecture that had further perpetuated this enslavement and this fall. And so as this has happened, remember we work outside of time, so there's layers all across the board that are being addressed right now that are starting to change and make things manifest. And this is going to be happening very, very quickly. Especially a lot of our Blu-ray family, a lot of the Elohim and the Oraphim. It's something that there's a lot that's going to be manifesting, that's already happening. New blueprint schematics that are coming through to assist you to anchor in the new world, the new earth templates, these override templates for the fallen timelines as we fully disconnect from the beast machine and the Armageddon projects and softwares, I realize this is probably why this came out, because it's about to go into the final thing we'll close with, which is just a little bit of a reminder, a warning, and some wisdom on what you're receiving and what you can do with this, with the power that you hold. Because a lot of individuals are being activated to their abilities, to their powers. This is starting to be made manifest. This happens in a way that you might not even be fully aware of what's happening or what you truly hold. And so it's something, and our fallen family is aware of this. So they want to manipulate you and misguide you and they want to have you choose to put your power in a direction that you believe is what you want, but is actually serving an agenda that's out of alignment for the highest good of yourself. Knowing that you are all one, we are all one. So this is for the highest good of all. And so it's something that's really important to be aware of this, and to be aware that anything that come up, even if we've started to put our attention in something or have created something, like we are God creators, we can always, sometimes you got to be creative, think outside of the box, but like we're not supposed to be in a box, we're freaking spherical in nature and so much more. So start thinking and like from all areas and like, just, come up with the solutions. You've got the support. And as long as you can see something, even if you don't know how you're going to address it or how you're going to be able to take care of it, if you can identify and see it, just start coming up with ways. Create the container, create the resources, create your alchemical cookbook, cooking setup thing or whatever, and just trust that God and our family are here to assist you in allowing that to happen. And as you go through that, you're going to be able to refine, tweak some things, and it's just going to keep getting stronger and stronger, more and more refined. And it's something that's going to be very exciting. It's very fun. It can be a little stressful at times. We hope enough of the pioneer work has been accomplished that you can flow through this a little bit more smoothly. This is going to be really fun to watch our family step out on these levels. Basically the last thing we want to get on is what's transpiring right now. Because we've heard a lot about the same stories that are being perpetuated and said, like, even about blackouts and martial law and all these various things. And like, it's just, it's so far out of alignment with the actual timeline or with the actual framework that's being manifested. So it's something that all we know is that, like, if these things, like, if there's anything that does manifest and that comes up, it's simply because it is necessary for the true architecture to be made manifest. So it is imperative. And that especially as we're going through this really, really deep part, I mean, we expressed everything that's been going on just to prepare for this period, and we've got a few months that we're going to be going through this. So it's imperative to know that if anything starts to happen, no matter how crazy, bad, intense it may be, stay in your heart. Know that this is nothing more than an illusion that is being projected, that is attempting to become real. Like, it's trying to find life, it's trying to hold on to anything, it's trying to hold on to you and your consciousness, to play with the mental bodies and everything, to get your organic God creation abilities, to birth it into existence. We're bigger than this, we've already learned these lessons, we've done this so many times, we don't need to do this again. So it's one of those things that it's something that, like, if these things occur, continue doing your work, continue being in your heart. If you see something happen, just dedicate yourself that much more to this work, being completely fearless, knowing that you are God, you are a sovereign being. It's time for you to be free. You have always been free. It's time for you to remember this so you can embody this in the here and now. And to go forward, untrusting your heart, continuously identifying anything that is out of alignment and harmony with the divine universal truths and unity consciousness, and literally put your attention, be like, hi, I see this, I recognize this, I choose this. Put it out of the way. Know if something else is being created around this is because there are others that have yet to get this. Don't play this game. Do not fall into these traps. It is not necessary. Be that override pillar, that crystalline architecture that allows the true perfection template to manifest within you and everything around you, so we can have further sites of amplification of this universal truth, so all family can really feel this and start to embody this themselves. At the same time, there are things that have been seen, people that are going to start having through dream times now, visions, intuitive guidance, all of this. It is something that these are things to be aware of, that people that are receiving this now on the collective, these are coming up because these are attempted plans and things that are projected storylines that they're trying to get people to latch on to and create. Your words, your intentions, your belief give power. If you are fearful, doubtful, trying to hide, run away from something, you are giving that your power. Like, take your power back, beloved. Like, stand there in all that you are. See these things. If you see something and you're like, chaos, destruction, all of this, and you run away from it, you turn away from it, or you even feel, you're like, I gotta prepare for this, I gotta do this, this is what's happening. If you believe that's a reality, you're trying to create that, let it go. Like, and if you're afraid of it and you run away because you can't face that, what you're seeing head on, like, you're giving consent and allowing that to be seated in your consciousness, to be looping and running, and to run one of the lowest, densest frequencies of fear into the creational output of your consciousness. Like, this is how they've been creating through fear and doubt and everything like that, because it's a heavier, denser frequency. We are in a much, it's something that when we're creating from a higher frequency, like, it's something that we have to really, this is why joy, love, and everything is so much more powerful and effective, but fear is so much easier to get ensnared with, and it can be, it can make you fall into depression, sadness, make you want to give up, and all of these things. And so it's really important to hold the purest frequencies, to get out of this fear and to stand in your power. And what you're seeing right now, be like, yes, this is what's trying to come to life. We choose unity consciousness. We choose that of which is the highest good for all family. So it be. That's all it is. Let it go. Allow this image to be transfigured into this unity consciousness. You are literally creating this. You are birthing this. It is more powerful than we can even ever begin to try to express through like a gajillion videos. Like, you've got to figure this out for yourself. So, and then at the same time, we want to address something for those that, have been a little bit more, not just those that are receiving collective streams things at the moment, but those that have actually been working on deep levels of the architecture, those that have been really navigating and scripting and creating the framework so we could continue to come and expand upon, upgrade and encrypt this architecture in itself. There have been things that we've been showing, things that especially we're now approaching those times where a lot of these things that you're shown can start manifesting. And it's one of those things that it's very, very important to know that there are many reasons. Sometimes we need to see what already happened that we're here to override so we can remember how bad it got. Sometimes there's so many levels of awareness. We won't go into all of this right now. If you're at this level, you probably already have a certain insight on this. Because sometimes some of us just needed motivation. We reach a certain level and we're like, hey, we can have the best time in our own selves and with those that are on our level. And why do we even want to lower our frequencies in these areas, So sometimes it's like we need to be showing things that really motivate us to get that fire going, so we actually are driven to step out of our comfort zones to actually do what we are here to do and to receive all that we chose to receive during this time. So it's something that there are things that can be seeded that we might forget about, we might not even remember, but as these little things are coming up, as they're trying to reseed and reactivate these things, there can be little trigger associations, little back doors and stuff like that that are connected to these things that we might have forgotten. And that can be running levels of dread or fear or terror or doubt or concern on a subconscious level that is further taking us out of alignment of being able to be all that we are. So it's something, and if we hold these seeds, especially if you've done the work and you've been granted deeper levels of access to this construct, and to, it's something that these are actually things that are almost like self-sabotage programs, and it's like we're creating a masterpiece, but we've got these little things that are trying to just like create chaos, and we're like, we don't want that, why is this little distortion here, why is this little distortion here? So like literally as we begin to recognize these, go back to those seed points, really assess those and be like, hey, is there anything in this that is actually needed? Like, or is there a better way? Like, and if we can find a better way, or if we see something that just doesn't resonate with where we're at now and with what we're choosing, it's time to let that go and to clear that imprinting so you can make room to truly manifest all that you want and are seeking. And I promise that this alone, you releasing these imprintings, like these seeded codes, and choosing these highest timelines, like the highest timeline for all individuals, like you're literally birthing this into action. It's already here. It's already the trajectory aligned with. But every individual that chooses this and helps us align to this, we can make this that much smoother, that much more graceful. Like this process could get really, really, really intense, because there are enough that are hitting this frequency level that are just anchor lock and sealing it in all that they are, and there's nothing that can phase us. Like as people get more and more scared, we're becoming more and more grounded. Like it's something that, like, this is a process that whether people choose to have this get so difficult to where every individual is reaching their individual breaking point and chooses this, or whether they choose to start to step out of their ego, to start releasing these limiting beliefs and programs, and starts to actually like choose this unity, starts to release fear, embody joy, have the faith and trust of all that's occurring, loving yourself, loving all of our family as the best as you can, holding compassion for everything that's being seen, everything that's being witnessed. And like this is how we bring all of our family home that has always been here, and can actually go through this in a way that is so fun. Beloved, it's like so epic. But it literally is a choice that we all get to make together. Just know that our family that has awakened to the awareness of what's truly occurring, what's needed, has already made the choice that is in alignment for the highest good of each and every individual. There needs to be no vote. It's what your heart and soul has cried out for. You have the family that are representing this for you. And it is something that at this point, like, simply put, it's a choice. We've been saying this for years. How much longer do you want to experience sickness, suffering, pain, aging, death? Like, and how ready are you to experience eternal joy, happiness, love, unity, peace, infinite expansion? Because it's here. It's here for you. It's always been here. And it's calling out for you to reclaim this birthright for yourself. Shaya moka aka akatata aka atata anaka tataka anaka kakita kata kata shakana akatata akataka kakakakaka kita kata shata sata paka shaki hata tutu Shinamaro Kishinaki Ataisha Shuma Sanaka Shamaki de da 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 tu.
Yeah, it's time to release. It's time to really, really dive deep within yourself, and it may be difficult for you to even face these things that are so deep within yourself, but it is time to really dive deep and begin that process with curiosity, to ask those questions, coming up with the questions for yourself, so you can begin to understand the truth to what's really going on within you, so you can truly start to release all of these seeds, these programs, these wounds of fear and doubt and separation, and all of the insecurities that you may have, and anything that's being reflected to you in your life, through your relationships, through everyone around you. Really take a moment to look within yourself and ask yourself, what is this and where is it coming from within me? And ask yourself these questions so you can truly, finally release these things that no longer serve you or any of us. It's time to release these stories, and we no longer have to feed into anything anymore. This is a time of awakening and realizing that we have that choice. that there is another option to be able to choose something that is better, more in alignment to unity consciousness than the stories and options that are being perpetuated at this moment in time right now. I know that it all starts within yourself. It all starts within all of us. And we are all here together. And together as one, we have won. And this is something that radiates throughout all because it is truth. Together as one, we have won. When we realize that together, when we can come together within ourselves, with each other, regardless of our viewpoints, regardless of our perceptions, we can look beyond the veil and smoke screens of all of the things that are going on around us and see the truth for what it is within, as with you. Together as one, we have won.
Together as one, we have won. And may this victory be made manifest in the here and now for all to see, what always has been and forever shall be. Shnokisha sotasha samasu Shanasa hishu Sakyatata Shama huata Kara yasa ta'ala. Alright, our beloved family. Let's see. Oh, 1 hour, 2 hours, freaking straight, of course. Like, we literally could talk for hours and hours and hours, and finally we're at least getting to that point where we're bringing it out, dropping it down, letting it flow. Please know, if you want more insight onto certain aspects, we've got other sources we can recommend to you to go through that can share their own pieces. So remember, there's certain ones of us, like this happens for all of us, but there's certain ones of us that are bringing very big pieces of our true history and what's gone on. And each of us hold a very specific puzzle piece to this. And especially with 3 sides in particular, when these come together, the unification of this wisdom and experience is something that restores everything that we always have been and gets rid of all the false and running storylines that just need to be completed and ended entirely. So at the same time, like, please, if you got any questions, you got any feedback, it means so much to us to hear your really feedback. Does. Like, literally, it means more than we can express in words. That's why we do so much light language and everything. So, but your feedback, and especially those of you that, have shared this and recommended it to other people, really, really means a lot. And so there's, although, like, I can be she's amazing at getting back to people. Like, she finds the time. Like, I'm constantly, it's like, oh, let's go to do this. And I'm, like, gone for a couple hours, huge process going the entire time. She's like, you were only gone for a couple hours. I'm like, it's just nonstop. So it's one of those things that, like, I do have it as a personal goal. We can call it a New Year's resolution on top of all of them, to go back to every single comment that's ever been given to me on these things, and to really respond to each and every one of you guys. But yeah, anything you guys have to ask questions, we want to be here to assist you in remembering this truth for yourself in the best ways possible. And if you have anything that you'd like us to discuss more on or elaborate more on, please just let us know. We'll do our best to accommodate this. And, we got to try to flow with certain things because we want to be able to have a balance of shorter things, anywhere from a minute to 10-minute download drops, and then have the more longer, extensive sides. Because there's so much to share and it needs to just come out and it needs an outlet. It needs to find a voice. And at the same time, I'm just going to put this out there in the collective, like, it's something that this was coming up before with a lot of my private transmissions that most people have not received. These are just from some of my private diary transmissions and everything like that. And getting a transcript, somebody that can transcribe and write out a lot of what's being shared, the core messages of these in the videos, is something that could be a huge level of service to our family. And a lot of those that don't have the time or luxury to watch the videos and to go through, they can read in their own time. They can go through, scan, allow their higher self to guide them to the pieces that are most needed to be made known to assist with their organic ascension. So put that out there, and regardless, it'll manifest. So eventually we'll have some written transcribes of certain things we're bringing out, especially because what we're going to be bringing out as we move forward, just like you've heard, it's going to have a lot of depth to it. It's going to be very out there, but it's also going to be very in here, something you're going to feel, something you're going to recognize, something that's very unique, but so just knowing, natural, fluent. It's part of all that we are and have always been. And it's time to release everything that's gotten in the way from us just being as awesome as we truly are.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, there's so much more that both of us are wanting to come out with, and now that we both are stepping more and more out together and sharing more of all of the things that we hold, that we have learned, that we have experienced in our own journeys, we are ready to share with all of you. And so we look forward with connecting with you more and sharing so much more, and just get ready for what we will be bringing, because it's coming and we are working on it. But we love you so much.
Oh, so much.
And thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for receiving the call, for connecting and finding this video. And we love you, we honor you. Shikriya to oma tia shakriya no oma silea tia mata.
Shinomalia kara shinomasa. Mukara shinikiata nakataka kata namakatoriya shakato sanatai shanamai. From our heart to yours, from our heart to all. We love you so much. Have a beautiful night, day, existence, and we look forward to connecting with you soon. Aloha.
And with that, we close and complete our alchemical container.
Let us seal our container in the eternal living light of God, in wholeness, unity, love, freedom, and joy, as we move forward with this divine journey and bring all family home.
Akurata.
Sakatarashu. We love you. Talk to you soon. Aloha.